the parkway in my automobile, trying to get back to my pappy's corn liquor steal. Soon as I crossed that Buncombe County line, something in the air blew my podcast up high. It was the wisdom from the chicks in the city sticks, and I knew right then it was gonna be my fix. No need for white lightning to get my start. It's hey Lord, have mercy, Hannah, bless your heart. Wardy, yeah, you know what I mean. It's not strange, take it from me. Wardy, come and listen to see Wyrd Mountain Gals on the Wardy. Up on Wyrd Mountain, they done getting their kicks, jamming on the porch just a hit and mash. Stirring up the pot, that's what they do best. They can dish it out till there ain't none left. W-Y-R-D, yeah, you know what I mean. No, it's not strange, take it from me. W-Y-R-D, so come and listen to see Wyrd Mountain Gals on the Wardy. Well, I finally found my pappy's corn liquor steal. Filled up the jug and had to hit the trail. Gotta get back to the cottage in the Mashville woods, to the Wyrd Mountain Gals neighborhood. W-Y-R-D, yeah, you know what I mean. It's not strange, take it from me. W-Y-R-D, come and listen and see Wyrd Mountain Gals on the Wardy. It's them Wyrd Mountain Gals on the Wardy. It's them Wyrd Mountain Gals on the Wardy.
Do you consider yourself normal? Then this is not the show for you. Please go somewhere else. This is WYRD. If it's getting weird, it's got to be the Wyrd Mountain Gals show. You're listening to Byron and Alicia, the Wyrd Mountain Gals.
You're so fun. Knock, 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 knock. I was gonna go ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, and then I remembered I was at Hopi yesterday, and they had this thing that was maybe it was ding dongs. I don't remember. It was some kind of snack, Hostess snack cake flavored iced latte. And I think they were 99 cents a bottle. And I just thought, ooh, Twinkies was one of them. Twinkie flavored iced latte. I thought, God, if that's not emblematic of the descent of the West and everything that is wrong with America, I don't know what is.
A Twinkie flavored.
I believe it was
latte.
some Hostess product, Twinkie flavored iced latte in a little bottle.
Oh my.
Crazy.
Well, you know, they have those like Little Debbie ice creams now. They have ice cream in the flavor of an oatmeal cake or something like that. Seriously, they have Little Debbie ice creams.
You know, why wouldn't you just eat a damn Little Debbie?
I don't, because that's a lot cheaper.
I tell you, Little Debbie's used to be super cheap. My daddy, more than anything, loved a Little Debbie oatmeal cookie. And he would, you know, you come in the house and his spirit of Madison County generosity would kick in, and he'd say, "You want beer?" And, you know, it'd be 10 o'clock in the morning. You go, "Well, no, Dad, not really. Coke? You want your Coke?" "No, Daddy, no, I'm good, thanks." "How about a Little Debbie oatmeal pie? I got some of them." they make them real big now, and they make a big old box of them. I got the big old box this time. That was my daddy.
Oh, well, at least he was generous there. Or
He
attempted
was
to
a
be.
very generous man, and he was one of those people. He didn't know a stranger,
I
and
love that.
and I was with somebody, I think, at a local store that's got a cafe in the back. And we're
Yeah.
heading towards the cafe, and I talked to three different people on the way back there that knew me, or I knew that we knew each other. And they said, "God, do you know everybody in town?" I said, "No, but this is my daddy. See, my daddy, he went all over the place because he was a truck driver. So he knew
Oh,
all these different kinds of people in different kinds of places, and sometimes they just all show up, and there we are." But yeah, he was one of those kind of people. The One of my daughter's chief memories of him, and he died when she was almost 5 years old, is that he taught her how to kill ants. And that was a
oh,
big deal for her, how to kill, because ants are hard to kill. Taught her how
okay.
to kill ants, and he would ask her, you want a Coke or you want $1? And she'd be like, well, and she'd tell him whichever one she wanted, and then he would give her both things, a Coke and $1. So
Oh,
that's her memory of her grandpa or granddad.
wow. That's a good
There,
memory.
we
I,
started the whole show with talking about bad things to eat and wonderful people.
yeah.
So we're just gonna make this one our food show.
Yeah. Well, I was actually gonna start out asking about smells. I was gonna ask
Okay.
you what, you know, believe it or not, I believe every place has a smell. And like Robbinsville to me in the wintertime was I always had the smell of wood smoke. Even if you were outside somewhere, there would be wood smoke because a lot of times the sky would be, cloudy and the smoke would be laying close to the ground and you could just smell everybody's wood smoke. Asheville, I would smell Inca in the mornings because I lived in West Asheville. Did you smell
Oh yeah.
Inca?
Well, I lived in Inca, so yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you could be
Well,
right there in it and not smell it.
yeah, I grew up in Inca Candler, West by God, Buncombe County, and the big day would be when the wind was blowing exactly right, and we got the nylon plant at Inca, and then the paper mill out in Canton,
Ugh.
and that combination of smells was pretty whew, potent. It was potent.
Yeah, the
Yeah, but
paper mill.
I grew up with so many people whose daddy primarily, but sometimes their mama worked at the Inca plant, and anytime people said Inca stinka, they go, huh, I tell you what, it's a smell of money.
Yeah. I remember hearing that. I remember hearing that. Randy's dad worked there all his life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was the only job he had ever had. He started there when he was 18 and he retired there in his 50s somewhere and was still in the same department, same machine, same everything. And he had this big piece of nylon that had evidently, I don't know if it leaked or if it was just a byproduct of whatever it was they were making, but it was white, it had hardened, and it had little colored stripes in it. And it was in some kind of like a psychedelic shape. And he had kept it because of that. And I remember thinking, that is the coolest thing. And I wanted to keep it. And I think it might be in our attic right now.
Oh,
It's just a piece of nylon, but it was heavy too. You could use it as a door stop, you know. So
oh,
hey,
that's cool.
I thought it was. Well, and door stops. Is that the word that I'm looking for? And do they even make them now?
Door stops?
Yeah, do they need door stops anymore?
Well, I mean, I've got them. Where have I
Yeah.
got? I've got one over at the temple at Mother Grove that
Yeah.
to hold that heavy outside door open to bring stuff in and out because
Didn't
it
you
doesn't.
used to have one at the cottage that gal stole?
Oh, golly, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, and that's what I used to hold open the screen door again, bringing stuff in and out. And
Uh,
yeah, boy, she's all proud of herself. I stole something from a witch. I stole a witch from a witch, and it's like, yeah. Well, how's your life now, bitch?
I know when you told me that story, I thought of all the things to steal and of all the people or places to do it.
I
That's
know.
that's
And you know,
sincerely.
she is a youngin, and I'll bet you anything her friends have dared her. I dare you to go up on that porch. I dare you. I dare you. And so she did. I said, take something, take something. I think she
Oh
probably just
my.
took the first thing she could lay her hands on.
Uh,
That's all
well,
right. Let that be a general rule for anybody who's hearing us right now, is that you shouldn't steal from anybody,
yeah.
but you especially should not steal from a witch.
Yeah, do not.
What's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you?
Right, because here's the thing. I know you to be a nice person. You are, believe it or not, folks. She is a super nice person. But you're aware. And I know that you ward your properties.
Yes, ma'am.
And the wards do the work for you. You don't have
That's
to,
exactly right. The
yeah, you
wards
don't,
and the spirits on the house and the
uh,
spirits on the property.
right.
Well, we still laughing about that friend of yours that was wandering around in the woods, and there wasn't any animals, and there wasn't no, I didn't feel welcome there. Well, he wasn't welcome there. Get the hell
Right.
out.
Right. And you could, if you were trying to turn that story into a movie, it could be like something from Hitchcock. Or was it Hitchcock that did the birds?
As he got deeper and
Yeah.
deeper into the woods, he realized how quiet it was. Well,
And
he's
the
probably
colors.
stronger like an elephant.
Yeah, yeah, probably, yeah. And you slowly have the color bleed out of the photo of the picture. I love it. So this year, and I know we talk about it every year as a band, but I think it's a real shame, and I'm just not going to let it happen this year because we don't have COVID anymore and we can get together. I really, with your permission, want our band to do a video on your porch.
Well, of course. Yeah,
And
of course.
and I want to
Enjoy.
enter it in the National Play Music on the Porch Day. Uh,
Perfect.
and it's not really a contest that I know of. It could be a contest, but it's just a day set aside for playing music on the porch. And I was talking with Selby, and I said, if the band can't do it, it's going to be me and you, bud. And so I would like to officially ask you if you want to sit in and be a current resident.
I could be tapping my toes, playing my tambourine. I could just be holding the fiddle, not playing it, just holding it.
If
I can
you
play
want
some
to.
in.
That's hilarious.
So I
Well,
have not played my fiddle in almost a year. I mean, last year was just last year. It was awful.
I'm
It's
on it.
busy. And I'm
It
gonna get it out maybe this weekend. I'm gonna get it out and tune it. God, the bow has probably lost every hair it ever had. And and see what's going on. See, I don't even know what to do now because I always went to musicians workshop to get my strings and
yeah.
bows and whatever, chin rest, all that stuff. And they were so sweet, those boys over there. They go, "Oh, how's the fiddling going?" I said, "I don't know. I ain't doing it." And they would, they were just so good to me. Now I don't even know where you go to get fiddle strings. Have they got them at Guitar Center? I don't know.
I'm sure they do have them at Guitar Center, but if you just are out and about, oot and a boot, as they say, and feel like it, there's a nice local music store in Hendersonville,
Oh,
and
well,
right
then
on
I'll go
Main
do
Street.
that.
And
I'd
those
rather do
folks are nice, and they'll work with you. So, just knowing you. There's also a fella, if he's still alive. Now, he was a few years ago, but he's
God,
in Fletcher.
that is so Appalachian.
Yeah.
There's this feller. Now I don't know if he's alive still or not, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go on.
Well, he's in Fletcher, and he operates a bit that business out of his house. That business being supplying string players with string things that they need.
Oh,
So he might be a good one. I'll ride by there this afternoon and look and see if his sign is still out. That's how you would know that he was open for business, as he would roll this little sign out on the front of the
how
sidewalk. And he
funny.
would sometimes also sell you tomatoes out of his garden.
That sounds like how I'd like to live my retired life, hanging
Yeah.
out with string players and selling tomatoes.
Ah, well, don't even worry about the selling tomatoes part. Just the first part's all you need there. Just hang out with string players. Have you
I
ever
tell
met a
you what,
string player that was a really good string player that was part of this world? No. They're not of this world. I mean, they live in it and they're part of it that way, but they don't look at the world like other humans.
no, and most of them are damn big babies that have to be taken care of.
Yeah, they have
Yes,
their issues.
because I do hang out with string players,
Yeah.
and they are
Yes.
big babies, especially the men are big
Yeah.
babies,
Well,
and they're like,
uh,
"Oh, but I'm writing this new song. Listen to it," and you go, "Uh huh." It sounds just like the song you wrote 3 songs ago.
yeah.
But don't say that to them because it'll hurt their feelings.
Well, I'll
So
tell
you just
you,
have to go, pretty. Oh, it's so pretty, honey. That's good.
you're gonna love this. Yeah, I'll tell you what now, one of the privileges of getting old is having some singers that are still alive. When, Billy Joel and Elton John were my two. And Billy Joel just released a song after 30
I
years.
know it. He just released an album, didn't he?
He might have, I don't know. I quit looking for new Billy Joel music years ago. And I, the only reason that I watched the Grammys, because I did, was to hear his new song. Because at the last minute, right before it came on, I heard some commercial that said, and Billy Joel will blah, blah, blah. And I was, what? So I hit the record button, and when I had time later on in the middle of some insomnia, I'm sure, I watched it and I was moved and I was having to ask myself, well, what was the big deal? It was a song. There's thousands of songs out there, and I've heard hundreds of Billy Joel songs. And you know what it was? It was a couple of things. First of all, it sounds like Billy Joel. I
Yeah.
expected it to be some, overdone
Auto
whatever.
tune.
Right, because a lot of these
Yeah.
musicians, they come back, they do their comeback tour. It's because they need a money infusion. And so they just put together some crap that they think people will listen to, and it's sloppy and it's not heartfelt, and you can tell it. But I'm sure you can dance to it. Anyway, Billy Joel, that song was obviously a song that he crafted. It was his kind of words, was his key, his chords, his tonality, and his voice sounded great. But he was an old man. He got old. And I know whine, but I didn't I only knew that in theory until I saw him in that video at the Grammys. And it's like he really did. It happened. He wrote about getting old, but
He
then he
did.
went and did it. It made me
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I mean, you and I are doing the same thing.
I
I mean, we
know.
ain't Billy Joel, but we're doing the same thing.
That's
Getting
true.
old.
But I think that's part of why it just kind of that video or that, excuse me, listening to that song was a big deal to me. I was kind of analyzing it because, this robot must not have an emotion without overanalyzing it afterwards. And I was thinking about it and I thought, well, the aging part kind of hits home after a while. But it's difficult, and I never knew it would be. It's kind of difficult to watch your idols get old and age out. It is. There's a part of me that goes, no, they need to always be here, always creating. Gimme, gimme, gimme what I want.
I tell you, for me, the hard one is Robert Plant.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he is a good looking old man, but
Yeah.
Robert Plant was the kind of icon of my generation, of young and wild and free and connected to the other worlds and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And I see it now, and it's like, huh, yeah, yeah,
Well, the good that you could take out of that, he is still a fabulous musician. And
mm-hmm.
I don't know if
No
you
question.
listened to him with Alison Krauss.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
definitely.
also don't know what the deal is with them. I've seen a lot of photographs, but I haven't bothered to go and check out the gossip to see if they're dating or something like that. I really don't know. But
No, and
I know they
I don't
sound
really
great.
care. I don't
Yeah,
really care.
I
But
don't
what
either.
I'd love to do is to see some of these older male rock stars with older female rock stars. But
Yeah,
they generally don't do that.
I guess you're right about
Yep.
that.
Well,
Uh,
and I mean, in general, that's true
yeah.
for famous men in general, whether they're musicians or not.
Oh, Billy Joel is an old man now. He's 75, I think. But his wife, I thought, was his daughter.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
his latest wife. And I guess he's got a type because she looked kind of like a modern version of Christy Brinkley.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I hope he's happy. He's got kids and all of that. And I hope it's not just a money grab. He was one of my heroes. He was a
Well,
big deal
isn't
to
that
me.
funny? It doesn't feel like a money grab. I mean, no more than Dolly's new album doesn't feel like a money grab. It just feels like where that particular artist is in their time of life.
I think so. I know these lyrics are they're nuanced. The lyrics, I don't
Hmm.
think he could have written them when he was, at his quote unquote heyday. This is so he's like Robert Plant. His music has gotten more intense and light at the same time. It's complicated and good. You hear it and you just go, something in you goes, oh, ooh, I love hearing stuff like that. Billy's got just a set of chord. He's got a chord structure that he goes to, a turn
Yes.
of phrase, if you will, and it's very nice. And I didn't know that Robert Plant had such a good voice. I knew he could
Yeah.
holler, and I knew he could
Right.
sustain a note,
And
and
he
I
had a
knew.
good falsetto. And
Yeah, true. But I had no idea he could be nuanced like he is. So
Yeah.
when he does these duets and stuff, oh man.
Hmm.
If y'all haven't taken the time, because I just realized we're recording all this, but if y'all haven't taken the time to listen to some of their stuff, their new stuff, take some time if you have it and listen to it. I'll bet you'll like it. And this song that Billy Joel released is called uh, "Turn the
Why'd I
Lights
wait so
Back On."
long?
No, it's
Yeah.
called "Turn the Lights Back On."
Yeah.
And the Robert Plant album that I would suggest would be "Raising Sand," and it's a duet album with him and Alison Krauss. I'm
Hmm.
guilty of listening to what I like over and over and over again sometimes.
Well, there ain't no guilt to be associated with that. That's how the world works.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how it works. I used to try and listen to as much music as I could because I equated that with sophistication in my mind.
I get that. I get that.
I thought that all the cool musicians had a huge repertoire and they knew all these musicians that and music that I had never been exposed to before. And then as I got older, I realized that there's never going to be a lack of music, I don't think. I hope not anyway, in humanity. There's always going to be something new to listen to. So they weren't special.
Well,
We
but something that I think is really cool about maybe our generation is that we we got exposed then to music that wasn't the Western canon of music. You know,
yeah.
we got to hear Chinese music and South African music and Arabic music and until then it had been, you know, whatever America came up with, stolen from somebody else.
Yeah. That is true, but and we developed the music in Appalachia. We have
Oh
our own,
yeah, no question.
yeah, and
Woo.
it's got, and we are still doing it. A lot of us current
Yes.
residents are Appalachicana, although we're leaning into the rocky area. We're doing a little bit more rock now, but
Oh,
Appalachia,
nice.
yeah, yeah. I can't wait till the weather breaks a little and all of that. So I know there's certain things that you get out of your way seasonally as a witch. And I know that this is a busy season for you coming up, but I hope you've got some time to sit on the porch and listen to some music and we'll make sure and play some.
Well, I'm here to tell you, I don't know how much nicer you want the weather to be, Miss Alicia, because we've had 60-degree weather all week, sunny, warm, and in the 60s. So how much nicer do you want it to be in February?
Well, I want it to be something we could count on. And because everybody there's got a schedule, everybody in the
Can
band's
we
got a schedule. Yeah.
can we ever count on it though? I mean, really?
Well, well, no. You
Well, it's
cannot.
been beautiful this week. I've been out in the garden 2 different days. And then, you know, as always in my life, life overtakes the garden a little bit. But I cleaned out the big summer garden. We did some re-fencing on the garden.
Mm.
Yesterday, I bought a Mole Max mole and gopher repellent over to the hardware store.
Okay.
I planted the garlic, which was, you know, I planted it like 2 months too late. So we'll see what happens. I get some garlic scapes out of it anyway. What else did I do? I planted primroses, cleaned up another garden bed, trimmed back the mugwort. I've been gardening already, and it's just heaven. It is heaven on earth.
Nice. So nice. Well, and it is good weather to be outside gardening, I'm sure.
Golly, isn't it? Oof.
It's to get to stay out for more than, an hour without getting cold. Yes, that's very nice.
Yes, it's
So
been wonderful.
I
I tell
have
you, we went to the grocery store yesterday, and they had a whole bunch of, you know, when the vegetables just get a little bit past their best date, those
yep,
kind of things. I
yep.
bought so many damn vegetables yesterday that we got to eat in the next 2 days or they're going to go bad. So today I'm meeting a friend of mine out in Black Mountain. I got a meeting out there. Then I'm going to come home and I'm going to do a load of laundry because I think I can hang it out today. And then I'm going to have to cook up. The good Lord only knows how much zucchini is in my refrigerator right now. And I bought 3 different tubs of salad greens that they were, you know, they were not perfect when I bought them. So we are eating a
Yeah.
lot of salads, and I'm gonna fry up a whole bunch of, saute a whole bunch of delicious, delicious zucchini and bell peppers, because I, Byron Ballard, am not gonna pay $2 for a bell pepper. Period. I
I
don't care
get
how
it.
big it is or how beautiful it is. Bob Engel needs to know I ain't going for it.
Well, you can plan them and get several of them on your own without paying for them like that.
Well, so what I did was get 4 bell peppers for 99 cents, but they got to be eat real fast.
Ah, boy, I did a
But
big
that's all
stir
right.
fry yesterday, a big vegetable stir
Mm.
fry. Ooh, is good.
I love to add like a tablespoon, a couple tablespoons of peanut butter once they're all cooked up together
Oh yeah.
to make a peanut sauce on the sautéed vegetables. Oh, yes. Delish.
Does I've never done that. I need to try that.
Yeah. You just, once they're pretty much almost cooked, you just shove them to the edges of the pan and
Mhm.
put in a little tiny bit of olive oil and then a big dollop of peanut butter and just keep stirring it around. You might have to add a little bit of water.
Well, that
Stir it
sounds
around,
good.
and dump the vegetables back on top of it and stir them around. Oh, it's
Oh,
good.
man, that sounds good. Well,
It
I've
just,
got one that I do like that. If I have, I'm picky about salsa. I like to make it because then I know what's in it, and I like to make it
Mhm.
exactly the way I want it. But after I'm done with it, I don't want it to just sit in the refrigerator, what's left over, and I will put that in with my stir fry, and it actually tastes really good.
Oh, no, I bet it does. Hey,
Yeah.
we got something yesterday. I scored a bunch of avocados to make guacamole.
Yay.
And in the bins over to the Savmore, as we call it, there were diced tomatoes with jalapenos and habaneros in it. And
Nice.
it was, I don't know, 50 cents, I think. And it said on the outside, hot. And I thought, yeah, I bet it is. So I made guacamole yesterday, and then I put in like a heaping teaspoon. Now this is 3 avocado guacamoles. So
Okay.
it's a hunk
That's
of
pretty big.
guacamole. I
Yeah.
put a heaping tablespoon of that tomato in there and stirred it up. Dad
Oh.
blame, it is hot. It is hot. So it cleared my good sinuses out, I'll tell you what. But delicious. So if y'all run into that, diced tomatoes with jalapenos and
Uh-huh.
habanero.
Was it
Woo,
in a can
so
or a
good.
jar?
Can, can.
Okay. I would like something like that. I love a good spicy thing, especially in the winter time. Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You
yay.
too.
Man, we're talking what were we gonna talk about? It
Food
was some
and
food
music.
and
Oh, we're
music.
doing what we thought we'd do. Food and
Yeah,
music.
pretty much. Well, that's thankfully, I'm so thankful to say that's kind of been my life a little bit lately. I'm happy
Oh,
about that.
yeah.
So,
I'm happy about that because I know how you have been longing for music. You
oh
really
yeah,
have.
I have. It's true. It is true. I was so excited Friday, and then I realized, holy crap, I have nothing to wear. I've been nowhere for years, literally.
Oh
So,
my gosh. Well,
and then I thought, oh yeah, I'm a musician. There are no standards there. I can, but I
and
still
also
wanted to look decent.
you wear a lot of black, so
Mhm.
you can get away with just wearing black, can't you?
Yeah, I did. I don't know why but I always like to, I don't know, I've always been kind of a little bit of a flashy dresser when I'm out and about. And I don't know why.
Ooh.
It's just kind of me thumbing my nose, going, yeah, I know I'm a big old girl. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, kind of
Oh,
thing.
I love that though. I love that you're a I just would never think of you as a flashy dresser. I
I
love
know.
that.
Just really haven't been out much, but I usually have on black, but some bright color that goes with it, or I'll have some weird pair of sunglasses or some strange pair of shoes or something like that I just put on just for me, because hey, I like this. But that's all right. That will come later on if we start doing some regular going out and about. I'll have to find something to wear then, won't I?
Yes, you will. Get
Yes.
on.
Well, I don't like shopping for
No,
myself.
me.
Yeah, I don't like shopping for clothes for myself, and I don't like doing it online either. And so it's just a pain, really. The whole subject. I'm just for somebody who says that I have nothing to wear, I sure have a lot of piles of nothing to wear. I is silly because
Yes.
I hold on to things and I go, well, I'll wear that again when I'm that size. What?
I know it doesn't make a lick of sense, does it?
No, no,
Because
it
I say
doesn't.
I ain't got nothing to wear, and I wear the same set of outfits over and over and over. But I'm telling you, I still have piles and piles of clean clothes that I don't have any place to put them.
Same. That it's an
Yep,
organizational thing. And I
and
thought
it's a
about it.
too much thing.
Yeah, it's a too much thing. But you gotta, or for me anyway, I want to organize it enough to see what I've got. And then I don't mind getting rid of stuff at all. I
Yeah.
just don't really have a quick way or a quick system to get dressed anymore. And I think, boy, that's one of those first world problems, isn't it?
Isn't it? Golly, I
Yeah.
got too many clothes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm almost embarrassed about that conversation.
No,
But
yeah, I ain't gonna complain about that. I'm just gonna
yeah.
say that it's my issue that I've not, because my size has changed a lot
Yes, it
in 20
has.
years.
Yeah.
And so I've gone through periodically and gotten rid of everything that doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
And I need to do that again because I was at the damn bank yesterday and it pulling up my pants because they were too big. And I thought, just go buy some damn leggings that fit. What is wrong with you? So, so I need to do that. There's a bunch of stuff that just doesn't fit anymore. And I hold on to it. I mean, it's kind of the opposite of what my life used to be, where I
Yeah.
would outgrow something and I'd say, well, I'll keep it because I'll get back to that size. But now it's the other way around. So I've lost weight and
Yeah.
I got this stuff and I go, well, I'm just going to hang on to that for when I gain my weight back. Well, I'm not going to gain weight back. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to knock on wood about that because if I continue the way I am, I will not gain weight back. I could get sick with something and gain weight back. I absolutely could do that. And then you know what I'm gonna do? I'll buy some damn new clothes. Well, thrift store clothes, new to me clothes. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't
Well, I'm glad that I'm glad in the direction that you go. Weight wise, that makes me happy.
it? Well, I
And
mean, it's healthier for me. I liked my body when it was really big, and I loved my body when it was really big, and I love my body now. So I'll just be loving on it all the time.
just be loving on it. There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I wish everybody could. I wish that I'd spent more of my life in that frame of mind.
Well, and I wish I could just hand people a magic pill that would get them to love themselves and
Yeah.
not feel and apropos of string players, some of them I'd like to give them a pill so they love themselves a little less.
Well,
Or have a healthier sense of self. That might be a better way to put it.
yeah. Well,
Oh
and
golly.
you saying that, and I got quiet, and the reason I got quiet is because this face was flashing in front of me, and this face, and this face, and this face. I know a lot of string players.
Me too. Me
I,
too.
Hey folks, it's me, Gomez the Yard Man. We're taking a little intermission here to give you a chance to get up and, well, whatever it is you do, go ahead. Just do it with abandon. Then get ready as the conversation takes a turn to the dog side. Please don't listen any further if graphic descriptions of animal attacks, biting dogs, or dangerous dog behavior is going to bother you. We're not trying to tell you what to do, but if these things bother you, please don't listen. Everybody else, enjoy the show. And remember, stay weird, y'all.
I met her new pup. His name
Uh-huh.
is his name is Diesel. He's about 120 pounds, maybe. He's the biggest Rottweiler I've ever met in my life.
And sweet as candy, I bet.
Well, yeah. I mean, yes, oh yes. Arlo was there, who is her big sheepdog. And Arlo's getting pretty old now. It's been a while since I've seen him, a couple of years actually. And he totally remembered me. That made me happy. But he's of the
Aw.
age where he just pretty much sleeps most of the time. But he could still, and you could tell he could mess you up if he was mad. And Diesel, of course, looks like a football player, kind of a big giant, and he's got the huge Rottweiler shoulders and neck, and kind of that way. But he's got a lump on his left shoulder that is a cancer. So
Oh,
they're gonna have to take that out. At first, I was a little nervous because Rottweilers and they sometimes I get a little nervous, about things.
yeah,
But
they're
I don't.
territorial.
Yeah, they really are. And of course, I had a friend who had a very bad incident from a Rottweiler. His son was playing soccer, and the dog jumped the fence. And when my friend looked up, the dog had his son's head in his mouth and was shaking
Oh
it.
my God.
Yeah, and it's several surgeries, lots of trauma, and it's something that you never really get over. And that happened. And then my great aunt that I was named after had a chow, and it was just her. She was just a little old lady and her puppy, the chow, and she went to get it some water, and it got territorial and attacked her. And they had to beat the dog off of her with a broom because it
Oh
had a
my
hold of
God.
her. Hundreds and hundreds of stitches. And it was again a lot of trauma, and I had my own incident one time with some German shepherds that came after me. We were living in West Asheville, and our neighbors had some company that came over with their two big German shepherds and decided that they'd let them run through Malvern Hills. And of
Oh
course,
my God.
none of us knew that. And I went out, I think mom or dad sent me out to the car to get something. And I went out there, and the dogs came after me. And so for a number of years, I was really afraid of dogs, those kind of dogs. I mean, I liked all animals, but I was a little afraid of them. And so when this big old Rottweiler came at me of Katrina's when we first met, I was sitting on the ground in front of her sofa in the living room. We were
Yeah.
just, just hanging around talking. And I don't know why I was sitting on the ground and not the sofa, but anyway, the dog. Oh, I was playing with Arlo was there, and so the dog comes in and he comes boom 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 boom, boom right at me, and I thought I had a moment of terror, just abject terror, and then I got it together, and by then, of course, the dog was right there at me, and we met each other and became friends. And before I left that evening, when I left, I had to extricate. Is that how you say that word? Extricate.
Extricate. Yeah.
Yep. Extricate my leg from under the dog where he had fallen asleep on me. He's my buddy now. So,
Well, but that really illustrates how important it is for dog owners when they have their dogs out and about, not at home, because it's different at home.
yeah.
But when you're out walking in somebody's neighborhood, you need to have your damn dog on a lead.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
not because your dog is necessarily dangerous, because most of them are not dangerous. They just come up and hump your leg or sniff your crotch or whatever dogs do. But because there are plenty of people that have had that kind of dog trauma.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your big old goofy golden retriever comes running at somebody that's had that kind of trauma, and it just re-traumatizes people. So why do it?
It does. You're right. It was because it's not that stuff like that happens to me all the time, but through the years it happened several more times where I'd be sitting somewhere and a dog would come running at me, and I came to believe that maybe it has something to do with my hair because they'd usually come from behind, but
Hmm.
it could just be random. And then at after the terror goes away, for me, then we generally become friends. And so it's important. I think that's a good point that you brought up. So
Oh yeah. I
his
mean,
his
dogs can be, they're not all, but they can be very territorial. And I mean, mostly in my life, I've been bitten by chihuahuas and miniature dachshunds and little bitty dogs like that. But I was picking my daughter up from a friend's house, and the friend parents were also my friends, and they were maybe out in the backyard. I'm not sure where they were, and I came in the front door, knock, 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 came in the front door, and this big dog, like probably part shepherd, part something else. I mean, no warning, came out of the back bedroom and went straight for me. And
whoa.
there wasn't the bark, 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 bark. It was like somebody's in my house and I'm gonna rip their throat out.
Oh,
But because I've been around animals long enough to know a little tiny bit of something, I put one leg behind me, braced myself, and I put across my arms and put them over my face.
yeah.
And when the dog was he was in the crouch position to jump, and my friend came in the back door and said, scalp down, whatever.
Wow.
But
What
yeah,
kind of dog was
I
it
don't know what
again?
would have happened.
What kind of dog was it again?
I don't know. It was a big, probably shepherd, German shepherd, something
Yeah.
mixed, but
Wow.
it was big and it was muscular.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
by the
that
same token, my brother, when I got back from graduate school, my brother had a dog named Pumpkin. And I probably have talked about Pumpkin before. That dog was so damn big and so sweet, 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 sweet. And he would come running up to you and then sit right in front of you. And you'd reach down and scratch his ears and scratch his shoulders. You know how you do with a dog. And then he would just rise straight up and put his paws on your shoulders.
oh
And he was so big that he could look over my head. Now I'm
oh
5'4". It's not like I'm 6 feet tall, but I mean, he was a big old dog. But he would do that funny little trick where he would just kind of rise up on his haunches like he was giving you a hug, like, hey, glad you're here.
oh, that's so cute.
Yeah,
I
he's a
love
good dog.
it. That he must have been a big old dog.
Well, and that's been true in our family. We've always loved big old dogs.
I love them all, and that's the truth. I've had those two breeds that were kind of iffy with me a couple of times, but I still love them. I remember I was doing computer training out in Edneyville, and it was up on a mountain, and there was a feral German Shepherd that had given birth there, and none of them knew it. I didn't know it,
Oh my
obviously.
God.
Yep, yep. And I had my bright red truck, and which I don't even know if a dog could see that it was bright red or not. But I had my truck, and I pulled up kind of a ways back from their house because I wanted to be able to get back out. I didn't want to get blocked in. And evidently that was close to wherever those pups were, because as I was putting my leg out of the truck to get out, the dog came after me from behind.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, and it managed to take a little nip out of my back of my leg, but before I got the truck door shut.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up that we found out that that's what the deal was. And it was that too was a little bit traumatizing. And those people were like, we have no idea where that animal came from. I said,
Wow.
okay. I was nervous. I had the adrenaline after that. It was so hard to sit there and teach somebody how to use Windows. Oh, man.
I
Anyway,
bet. Oh,
yeah.
Lee.
Well, I remember our subject that we were originally going to talk about, and I can't really figure out how to bring us to it again, or to it for the first time or whatever. You were going to talk about witchery. Did you have something specifically in mind?
Yes. Well, I guess we're past the Omen days now,
Yeah.
which is the day after Christmas for 12 days.
Yep.
We're way past that. And and looking at other omens. And it's just so funny to think about. Like stuff will come up and I'll think, why do I think that? Why am I thinking that? And
Yeah.
it's because some old woman or some old man 60 years ago said, well, little Byron, when this thing happens here, this other thing happens over here. That's how it works. And I don't even remember half of it. I really don't. But somebody was asking me, my friend Angie, as it turned out, I was talking to somebody about climbing nasturtiums, which I love.
Oh
And she
yeah.
said, oh, I've never heard of those. And I said, yeah, well, if I see them anywhere, I'll let you know. And then I promptly forgot who I was talking to. So on social media yesterday, I was talking about everything, all the tech being messed up at the bank. And I said, also, who was I talking to about climbing nasturtiums? So my friend Angie said, me. And then she said, uh, is it the right time to plant them now if I get seeds? And I went, no. And then in my head, I was starting the whole litany about when the oak leaf is the size of a squirrel's ear, and when the moon, you got to wait till the moon is waxing, cause right. And I just thought nobody wants to hear that. Shut up, shut up. And
Well, they do.
because in my world, that's what witchery is knowing nature and knowing the signs in nature. And they're not supernatural things. It's just, well, usually by the time that the oak leaf, the leaf on the oak is the size of a squirrel's ear, usually by then it's warm enough and there's been enough water and stuff to plant. So there ain't no magic to it. And then I think, well, how much of what I think of as my magical craft is just crap I learned 50 years ago from farmers? I don't know.
Does that actually matter how it's acquired?
That's the other question, isn't it?
Yeah, because knowledge is knowledge, isn't it? And I'm not so
Mm-hmm.
sure that it matters. I mean, if it did matter, you'd probably remember it, don't you think?
Well, and also, I'm wondering how much of quote unquote witchcraft is just paying attention to the natural world.
Well, that is also, isn't that a tradition? I mean, midwives, look at
Yeah,
all the lore
all
that
of
was
that.
around midwives.
And that's not witchcraft. That's just knowing the world around you.
Yeah.
And so that's why when I see these people, they're so damn fancy. They got some fancy robes to wear and they got fancy jewelry and all this other stuff. Well, I mean, I can put all that stuff on and, create all that, whatever that folderol is. But does it change the magic that I do? I don't think so. I think it just changes my perception. So
Which is
now I feel like I
everything.
can,
That's everything, though.
it is
Definitely is
everything.
everything.
That is correct.
Yeah,
I've
I
got,
mean,
when I first started doing Hill Folks Hoodoo stuff, the catch line for that was attitude is everything.
well, that's also true. I
Yeah, it is
mean,
true.
yeah, we are powered by what's in our brain. If we have that's the way I've always thought of it. I know we have emotions that are independent of intelligent thought, but for the most part, we are powered by what we think. And it'll cause us to have certain emotions. And so I've seen, well, examples. I could think of a lot of examples, really. The first one is singing. If you're singing alone, you have this voice. If you're singing with another person, you have a modified version of your voice. If you're singing with a group, you have a completely different voice. And usually it's a stronger voice. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool
Well,
little thought. And it's the same way with everything. So if you think you're alone, and I remember people would come into the shop and they'd be really, really, really concerned about their equipment and about specific things that I'm not so sure was that big of a deal. But to them, it was a huge deal,
yeah.
you know, and they wanted to have it certain thing made of this or made of that or whatever. They would be very interested in it. And so I just respect that.
Me too. And I don't judge it, but
Uh-uh.
but I'm aware of it.
Yeah, I am too. That's not what it is for me either, though. I'm more along the lines of you. I think that we're all a product of how we were raised, whether we want to be or not.
Yeah.
So,
Boy, that's true.
yeah. But that doesn't mean you always have, that it's always going to be bad or traumatic. You get your sense of humor from your dad, or your sense of hospitality from another family member, or whatever you see. But anyway, that's that's just me going around in mental circles over and over again because I don't have enough to work on right now. And that's a
Ha ha
joke. I have
ha
enough. I do have enough.
ha. I do. I have enough. Don't worry about me. I got plenty.
Yeah, I'm not asking for more. I'm not trying to jinx anything.
No, me either.
Yeah, so well, I know where you're going this weekend. It's going to be Valentine's weekend for the folks listening by the time they hear this, and you will be on your way back, I guess.
Mm-mm.
No?
I don't know. I can't see my calendar. I'm doing Mythicon,
Yeah.
which is, I guess that is Valentine's weekend. It's
Yeah.
like I leave here the 15th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So that's
So it ain't this weekend. So by the time our listeners hear this, I'll be getting ready to leave.
you'll be getting
But I won't
ready.
be gone yet. I won't be gone yet.
Uh-huh. Well, are you gonna do anything up there besides Mythicon? Are you gonna be a tourist for a day or anything?
Oh, God, no.
No.
Because I'm doing 3 festivals that weekend, 2 of them online. I'm
Oh,
doing
holy
yeah, I'm
moly.
doing WitchCon. I'm teaching class there.
Okay. What you
I'm
teaching?
doing simple practical magic,
Okay.
what we were supposed to be talking about today. Uh,
Okay.
and then the next day, I'm doing a class as part of a fundraiser, Winter Star. It's a fundraiser for Starwood.
Okay.
And I tell you, Mythicon's got me busy. I got 1 class on Friday and 3 classes on Saturday.
Oh my.
So
That's
they're keeping me busy.
have you
So
been?
and then I'll leave Sunday.
Okay. So you've been to Mythicon before.
I never have. It's only the
Oh.
2nd year for this festival.
Oh. Okay.
Um, and so I'll let you know.
Okay. It sounds
I
it
know
sounds very interesting. I
I
want
know
to
a
go.
lot of people that are going to be there. A lot of presenters, a lot of vendors, a lot of the musical performers. I know.
Wow.
So I mean,
Well,
and I'll see a bunch of my friends from up in that area too. So it'll be good. It'll be really good.
yeah. Enjoy
I'm not
yourself.
I'm not looking forward to the drive, but
No.
I've done
No.
worse. I've driven to Florida.
Yeah. That's always an awful drive, isn't it?
Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you
I
got to go through the roads in South Carolina and Georgia.
yeah.
And
I just
apparently they don't have enough money to repair their highways.
well, at least they're not like Asheville, North Carolina, where they evidently got nothing but money and time because everything's torn up all the time on the roads. Everything's being constructed right now. Yeah, I don't know how long it's been since you've been through Arden or
Oh
been
gosh,
191
months.
the back way to Brevard. Oh Lord, you wouldn't believe.
Oh, is that because of that Raytheon plant?
I guess. Is it where is the Raytheon plant going to be at?
Well, I think you access it from Brevard Road, but it's
Uh,
on the other side of the river.
okay. Well, it might
So is it
be.
near Sandy Bottoms? Is that where it is?
It's everywhere that whole piece of road. They're doing 3, 4, 5 different types of construction up and down that road, just between from Sandy Bottoms to say Mills River, where you'd either turn left to go to Hooterville or stay on the road to go to Brevard. So that area right there, let's see, there's about 5 different projects going on, either on the road or affecting the road because of their access to the road. It's crazy. It's not going to be the same when that stuff is done. We won't recognize that corridor anymore, and that's a shame. That's another good drive gone for me.
Well, but that's what we love in Buncombe County.
Yeah.
We want to change the landscape so much that people stop moving here. So just destroy anything that looks pleasant or feels lovely.
Yeah.
And put in some ticky-tacky crow housing that is unaffordable to anyone who actually is from here.
Right.
And destroy every cow pasture you ever saw or every cornfield. Because we don't need to grow no food. We got tourism.
I'm sad and concerned about it, but you saying that made me think, because when you were saying cow fields, I was thinking about what I drive by, because that's my drive, as you know.
I know it.
And of course it was Omen Days, and I meant to ask you about this. Omen Days, to me, I just consider that it's a time frame-ish kind of thing. I don't have an exact date for it, but I think you're following a tradition, aren't you, of Omen Days being certain days?
Yes, ma'am. The 12 days from December the 26th. And they're predictive about the month. So December 26th is January, the 27th is February, like that.
Yeah. So,
but,
this would have been...
I read omens all the time, but the Omen Days are different.
Well, this would have been about 3 weeks ago. And like I said, I meant to tell you, on my drive, I noticed, first of all, that I had never seen so many dead animals by the side of the road, but they weren't big animals. Usually, if you have that, you're going to see a deer or whatever by the side of the road. But these were little animals, skunks and raccoons and squirrels, and just lots and lots and lots of them. So that's the first thing that I noticed. And then the second thing that I noticed was something that happened to me as I was driving. I was actually stopped at a stoplight there, and these two crows came in, one from either side of my car is what it looked like, but they were in front of the car about 30 or 40 feet and up about 15 feet high. And they did the wildest kind of loop. The two crows looped right in front of my car. And that's the only way I could describe it is, if you had an invisible string in their beak, it would look like a roller coaster loop.
Wow. Wow.
Never seen anything like that before. And it felt like, because of the timing of it and the positioning of the crows, they were directly in the center of my windshield, as I was sitting there looking at them. It felt like something I should ask you about. And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It just was two crows, and they just decided to show off, I guess.
Well, yes, and
yeah.
Crows, I think it's the reason that crows have such a bad reputation, aside from inherent racism about anything that's black, is that they are traditional omen bringers in Western cultures.
They are.
So I watch them all the time, as you know, and as you also watch them all the time.
Right.
So I think two crows, it sounds almost like them tying a bow.
It did. It looked like it.
In front of your car.
Yeah.
And that would say to me, it's time to wrap some stuff up. Wrap it up. Get it done.
Okay.
That's how I would read it if it happened to me.
That's exactly how I read it. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I had to laugh about the other day. I thought I was reading some crow omens, because we got this big old family of crows back here, and they're always cutting up and raising hell and doing all that stuff that crows do. But one of them, it's been like 2 or 3 days ago, I came out and, and it was like, "Bah, bah, bah, bah," and I was like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" Because, my neighbors are used to it, I guess, now that I talk to crows. And
Yeah.
then this crow started going, quack, 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 like a duck. And I was like, "Well, that's new. What the hell is that?" Quack, 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 quack. And then I realized my neighbors back there actually have ducks. And I bet, and corvids are really good at imitating all kinds of sounds. And I bet you that's how they go and harass the ducks and mock them. And probably the ducks. So that was funny. I thought, am I hearing something significant? And I thought, well, it's significant in that your neighbors have ducks. Yes, I think that's what it
Yeah,
is.
that's a great story.
But
Well, and
I
that's
was given
probably what happened.
I was giving them omen status when really they're just being sassy.
They
They
were
being
they were
fresh.
jesting with you. They were
They
trying. They were like,
were.
these humans. They're just no fun to play with. They don't know what we're saying. Those humans must be dumb.
Humans. Because humans ain't very bright. Humans ain't smart. It's true. We ain't.
That's true. Especially, I guess, if you were a bird from way up high looking down on humanity. No,
Uh,
no.
well, or imagine when the cicadas, but I mean, cicadas don't really count because it's like they jump out of the ground, they crack open, they go breed, they lay whatever eggs they lay, and they're done. So they don't have time to look at us. But I think about insects, what it must be like for like ants who are so busy all the time. Well, I gotta go take this over here, and now I gotta go
Yeah.
do this over here. And that they see us come, and it's just like, oh God, not those people, not them again.
No, they're
Oh God.
opportunists. They think these people have always got some sort of sugar thing around.
That's true. That's true. Maybe they'll drop something good.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna have to go out today. You made me and really I was supposed to anyway. I was supposed to go out to the campground and eat lunch with somebody,
Yeah.
but it's a little cool, I think, to go out in the woods and in a t-shirt and eat barbecue. So,
Well, you could put on more than a t-shirt, You
well,
put on a
yeah.
jacket.
Well, that's true. That is
But
true.
it's
And I
been
will.
warm. I've been out and about well, I mean, I had on long sleeves yesterday, but it was in the 60s. It was very comfortable.
Oh, yesterday was nice. It was so
Uh-huh.
nice.
Is it
Yeah.
going to be colder today?
It is colder. Well, I don't know what it is right now, but I think we woke up and we were like 22
Oh,
this morning.
oh
And that was
golly.
colder than I expected. And I remember thinking last night that the air felt a little cold, which,
Huh.
I was up and down and up and down. Let's see what it says. Hang on and I'll tell you.
All right.
Now I want to know. Or I
Well, I'm
could
almost
just ask the device, or I could just walk outside and look at the,
at the rhododendrons.
yeah, or even the thermometer out there.
Uh,
That was a weird mountain gal thing that I really wanted to do, and that would be one of those old porch thermometers.
I have one. And
I
I have
know.
one that has it's the base of it is a John Deere
John
tractor,
Deere.
and it's flat up against the wall. Yeah, John Deere tractor.
Okay, 28806. It says right now it is 45.
Oh, it is colder than I thought it was. I mean, that's not cold. 45 is not bad,
No,
but it's not t-shirt weather to me.
no. Out in the woods though, it'd be on some, yeah.
Yes,
That'd be a little
exactly.
chilly for lunch, I think, unless
Yep.
it warms up some. So we'll find out. Maybe I will. There may be barbecue in my future. So, and there may
Oh,
not be.
I hope so, if in fact you like barbecue.
I don't care for it that much, but it's the company, you know. It's
Yes, exactly.
it's really the company. And barbecue is a big old tradition, so I'm used to it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Selby and I co-own a wood chip smoker. Did you know that?
No, of course you two do.
Yeah. So
You
anyway,
goofballs. You
we
two are
need to
goofballs.
We are. Anyway, I guess I should let you go because
All right. Well, I got to drive out to Black Mountain, and I know
enjoy.
that is going to take me about 21 minutes.
Wow, that's faster than I thought it would be.
I usually give myself half an hour because you never know what's going to happen, either on 240 going through at Tunnel Road
Mhm.
or on 40 itself.
Yeah,
So give myself an extra 10 minutes if I can, and hope that's for the best.
that's the voice of wisdom. Yep.
Well, I suppose a voice of experience.
Yeah. Well, give me a holler if you want to sometime
I will.
later on. And
I will
we'll see
do
if we
that.
can get into some trouble.
Yes. Good trouble or bad trouble.
Well, no,
All
good
right.
trouble.
Thank y'all for listening to us.
Yes,
See
thank
you, Miss Alicia. Bye now.
Hey, thank you for spending your time with us here at Wyrd Mountain Gals. We sure do appreciate it. You know, I know time is the most important thing we have, so I promise that if you take your time to listen to us, we'll take our time to continue to be weird. Many thanks to Sunslice Records for all the help. We couldn't do it without you, Craig. Check out our social media for information, community, or a few laughs. WYRD Mountain Gals.